Corporation. Now bear in mind, the BC Lottery Corporation doesn't own any bricks and mortar casinos. All it has is its own buildings, and it has software and computers for the online. So where is that $346 million going, while the charities are left to languish and suffer? And what is the real financial picture? As Peter has pointed out, we don't know the answer. We don't know, and this is only part of it. I understand from people in the real estate development community that there are also tax treatments. We don't know what those are. There's a lot to learn. We are nowhere near ready to be making financial decisions about this. I want to talk for a few minutes about crime. Near and dear to my heart, because I'm a former Crown prosecutor, and I was a gang prosecutor way back when. And I want to talk a little bit about being complacent about crime, because I actually was in the room when we got word that CSIS had erased all the tapes from the Air India surveillance, and I can tell you that was over 20 years ago now, and our blood ran cold that day, all of us, because we knew. And that is complacence. We have lived it again. We all heard the Deputy Police Chief Doug Lepard last fall talk about the Picton situation. That's complacence. That is what happens when you don't watch what's going on. Now, as someone who's got experience with law enforcement, I can tell you, those mobsters, you know, it's like rust never sleeps. They never stop looking for a way to get into the casinos, to get in wherever they can. They want that money, it's there, and they are trying to get it. And we have to be on our guard 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, all the time. So as Peter has pointed out, according to published news stories, it's common for casino clients to walk in to casinos with $500,000 in $20 bills in plastic bags. What kind of thinking is that? I agree with you. It is common for business people to do that. If your business is dealing drugs or running guns, if that's your business, that's how you get your currency, and you want to launder it through a casino. Organized crime is a multi-billion-dollar industry in this province. Our children are being woken in their beds by gunfire outside their windows at Christmas time. It is time to wake up to the reality. Now, we tend to associate gangs with violence, but the real reality is this is a huge, massive business. And the violence is only one small part of it. It is in shutting down that business. We're closing it off as much as we can. And controlling money laundering is one of the most effective ways that we can turn off the tap. Right here on Jericho Beach in 2006, we dug up the body of Lily Lee. Lily Lee was a loan shark, and she operated in the River Rock Casino, but she was an employee. Weirdly, this turned up in a murder trial of her murderer. Her employer, her loan shark employer, indicated how he ran shifts at the casinos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. People would start a shift with $20,000 to $30,000 in their float, the loan shark float. Now, how that can go on in a casino and management not know about it beats the hell out of me. I have no idea. There's no way that that can be going on that management doesn't know, and if they don't know, it's their business to know. Why don't they know it? And she was not the only loan shark that has been murdered. And who are the clients of these loan sharks? Our own citizens, whose addiction and despair is unseen because of fear and shame. They have families and children too, who are also our citizens and who also need our protection and who do not need us to be making money off their misery. And as Peter mentioned, there did used to be a special RCMP unit dedicated to gambling crime called IGET. In January 2009, it reported to government and it cited some very serious risk factors, including the extreme vulnerability of casinos to money laundering. That's their wording, extreme vulnerability. Influence of organized crime figures at casinos and potential infiltration of the industry. Conflict of interest and perception of corruption undermining the integrity of the industry. And strangely, no investigation of the suspicious money transactions reported to them by FINTRAC, which is the federal government agency that governs these things, because of lack of resources. I get asked for more resources so that it could monitor and control these issues. And an emergency meeting was called to discuss this report, and within weeks, the unit was disbanded. Less than a year later, FINTRAC, which is the federal government agency, fined, or just a little bit over a year later, FINTRAC fined the BC Lottery Corporation $670,000 for failing to monitor suspicious money transactions. And weeks after that fine was made, now we learn from the CDC about these massive amounts of money that have been pouring through. And finally, that's the organized crime aspect. Who's lining the store here? What is going on? And why is this being treated so casually by the people who are in charge of our policing? Paragon Gaming, the company that is applying for this license, has a casino in Edmonton called the River Cree. That casino had a murder 2 years ago. 2 armed patrons in the casino followed another patron out of the casino and shot him in the head and killed him. In the 55-page application for rezoning of the Edgewater casino property, or Palco property, and the expansion, the amount of space devoted to policing and monitoring is 1 paragraph in 55 pages. With all of this information that an OCD mom can pick up on the internet, our professional police have come up with 1 paragraph, and half of that paragraph is about traffic and pedestrians. This is not good enough. This is not good enough. We need better. The city can do better. And we need to know exactly what's going on. And this is why the City of Vancouver, we have gone to the City of Vancouver and asked them to seek a complete provincial review of gaming policy, which they have. Thankfully, they passed that motion, but now we want to put some teeth into that motion. We need a moratorium on gaming until we know a lot more about all of this. Now I want to talk a little bit about process, because I want to show you something. We've got an application here by a Las Vegas company, and there's been a lot of excitement in the newspaper about our exciting new entertainment district that's going to come. It's just going to be so spectacular. And this is really, you know, as the older I get, you know, it's the miracle of cosmetics, and this is the miracle of marketing. Because I'm going to show you a little bit about who Paragon Gaming is. So, of course, as